Hello, my name is Jenna. This is 1111 with Jenna, and I am here 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week. Yep, 14. 14? Is it Fortnite? I don't know what Fortnite is. I know it's a video game, right? I don't know. Is it a movie now on HBO also? Jeez, I learned so much last night. My goodness gracious. I am just was outside. It's really cold, and I need some tea, hot tea, totsy. Good bar, really good bar in Albany, California. Hotsy totsy on San Pablo. Yeah, you're right. It is Saturday, January 28th. Saturday, January 28th in the 2023. Hello, William D. Lindemann. What up? I don't know who else is here, but thank you for being here. Mama Grace with the beautiful face. Yes, she is. Yeah, it's quite well. It snowed. What's the temperature?
And it's 28 degrees outside.
It's 28, and I just froze again. To me, I froze, and I don't know if that means when I see it freeze, is it freezing for you? Sometimes it seems to, and sometimes I just don't know. I just don't know. Just don't know. Don't know. But I'm going to go public super fast and go done like that. Plug in. Let's see, am I all plugged in here? Roots in the house. Representing where they know how to deal with things. Ladies and gentlemen, one more Saturday night with Gary Lambert. Hey, Danny. Hey, Gary. You're in Sandwich.
I think I'm unmuted now,
You're unmuted. You have unmuted yourself.
and I think I'm in Sandwich.
You're in
And I think, and in
Sandwich.
fact, I not very long ago had a grilled cheese sandwich. So
What kind of cheese?
cheddar, really nice sharp cheddar.
Sharp cheddar. Now, how
Mhm.
many slices? Is this like a block cheddar? Is it a
No, it's sliced sharp cheddar. Trader Joe's
okay?
makes a nice slice. Put two slices on, nice and gooey.
And do you butter
Um,
both all sides? How do you make it? Tell us
uh,
how you make your grilled cheese sandwich in Sandwich of all places.
yeah, well, the great grilled cheese hack that I don't know who came up with it is on the outside of the bread, put mayonnaise. Since it has egg in it, it gives it almost a little French toasty configuration.
Nice. I don't
Um,
like mayonnaise, but I may have to try
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
So,
love- So then
yeah, well,
you
I do like,
put mayonnaise
I
on the outside.
yeah, and then like a little on the inside, a little mayonnaise and a little. I used a little honey mustard,
Ooh.
and it's
Ah.
I've gotten into all kinds of grilled cheese varieties. I had this epiphany when I was a much younger man. There was a restaurant in Stockbridge, Massachusetts called the Back Room, which then became known as Alice's Restaurant. But after it was Alice, well, it was never known as Alice's Restaurant. That's the interesting thing. As Arlo says, Alice's Restaurant isn't the name of the restaurant. Alice's Restaurant is the name of the song. That's why the song is called Alice's Restaurant. But the place Alice ran was actually called the Back Room. Then Alice moved on and opened her later restaurant, which actually was called Alice's Restaurant. And into the Back Room, there moved another restaurant. I think it had a woman's name. I think it was Elizabeth's, but I can't remember for sure. But anyway, uh, when I first ate there, it was the second thing. It was no longer the Back Room or Alice's. But they had a grilled cheese, tomato, and chutney sandwich.
Uh-huh.
which was the most incredible sweet and savory kind of combination. And so to this day, I occasionally make myself grilled cheese, tomato, and chutney in memory of that amazing.
Do you put chutney on both sides of the bread?
You certainly can. The chutney makes its point, quite easily. So you don't have to put a whole lot on.
Mhm.
Just like a little nice glazing of chutney. You don't put it on both sides of the bread. You just put it on the inside.
Inside, yes, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
My father
But
was to grilled cheese with tomato. That's a thing.
it's a great thing. That's a great thing. Oh, you're not a tomato fan either, are you?
No, sir. Hello, Carl. Hello, hello, hello. So did you make sandwiches for the family? Did you make sandwiches just for you?
No, this is just my hosts are very early bedtime people, or by my standards, very early anyway. So they were long gone, and I had not eaten since much earlier in the day. I had the best day. I had an incredibly sweet reunion with my dear friends from NRBQ, Joey Spampanato. Earlier in my trip, I saw Johnny Spampanato, Joey's younger brother and amazing guitarist. Joey Spampanato, one of a handful of the greatest bass players that's ever lived, one of the sweetest singers that's ever lived, a great songwriter, formerly of NRBQ, alas. And that's not a story I really want to tell, but because it was a mess. Perhaps. So anyway, Joey, a Bronx boy who then later moved to Nashville, and then, he was in Woodstock. NRBQ was based in upstate New York for a while, and then he moved to Nashville. And Joey met and married an amazing woman, an incredible singer, songwriter herself, Kami Lyle, who I absolutely adore, and they are the most dear couple. And so I had not seen them in some years, so they gave me a really grand tour of their Cape, their favorite haunts of the Cape, which includes some incredible beaches and it was just, and all those things. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. All those things they say about the light on Cape Cod, the famous Cape Cod light.
It's for real.
It's beyond true. We saw the most just stunning vistas, and it was a great day. Today was the warmest day of the past week. I mean, up around high 40s.
You had really snow? No snow?
No, there was snow earlier this week, but it doesn't snow a lot on the Cape. It's very rare that there's a major snowstorm that makes it as far. It usually makes it veers north and goes to Boston and further north into Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I think there's just something about the physical positioning of the Cape and the place on the water that it does not get as much snow as many other parts of New England. When it does snow, it's beautiful, but snow is not the main feature here. But boy, that sky.
But the light is.
The light is the bomb. So yeah, they brought pizza to the beach.
Always good to the beach.
We strolled at it. Oh God! And when these are people who are serious enough about their pizza that they purchased one of those carrying things that the pizza delivery people carry to keep it warm. So they went. It's a great idea. They went to their local pizza place. I'm going to get one from
Lisa. I'm going to get one from Lisa.
But so we decided we were going to we ate late. We later, the pizza that we didn't eat at first, we sat in the car and ate at our next stop. But the pizza that we said, well, let's have a slice right now. And we opened up the pizza box, and all of a sudden, seagulls from every angle.
No.
I mean, it was like an Alfred Hitchcock level, the birds kind of ominous seagulls just like scoping us and walking brazenly closer to the car.
And the rest of them, are they in the air floating around you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was amazing. We were sure we were going to get our, they were going to mug us for our pizza. They didn't. We actually they had extra. They brought extra paper plates, so we put them over our pizza slices to discourage the seagulls. And we walked off. We said, let's get off the beach and we'll walk up the road and eat our slices. And they did not follow. So, but it was like being, it was like being mugged by a gang. It was like they just they were so intense and like just, oh man. So that was great. And so we went to several wonderful beaches, and we went to the fishing harbor they live in Harwich, actually pronounced Harwich in England. H-A-R, yeah, Harwich. The Brit population is Harwich, but they call it Harwich over here. And then we went to a lighthouse right on the water, and it was just spectacular. It was just the perfect kind of day. So that was glorious. And
you're like all about sandwich.
yes.
And
I will say this is my last 11/11 from Cape Cod.
Oh wow.
I'm still going to be in Massachusetts for a few days. Next Sunday, I'll be at another friend's house in Massachusetts briefly before I go back down to New York for the closing. We have a proposed closing date that we think everybody, I mean, we've signed off on it. We're waiting for the buyer to make sure it fits their schedule.
Is your brother coming out?
He's coming out. Yeah. So, and I'm actually going to go down to New York a little in advance of the date and hang out in New York for a bit. But so I'm going to be in this other part of Massachusetts, Hopkinton, which is kind of between Boston and Worcester, for a few days, seeing another dear old friend of mine who I have not spent any time with in years. And then she actually, when I first met her, she was working at Yoshi's, the old Yoshi's on Claremont.
Oh, well, I would know her face anyway.
Her name's Lorelei. You may have met her at Dead shows. You may have met her at Yoshi's. Our lives intersected in we both, I knew her from Yoshi's and I knew her from the Dead scene. And then we've been incredible friends for, it's like 30 years now.
If I see her, I would know her, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
let's live together. Sorry, I had to do that.
That's okay. And but next Sunday, so next Saturday I'll do the show from her place in Hopkinton, and then on Sunday,
yes.
One of the reasons I'm staying in Massachusetts is there's an event in Fall River, Massachusetts. There's a guy named Ted Barr who has an incredible art gallery in Oyster Bay, Long Island. And he has what may be the largest collection of original Grateful Dead posters.
Really?
Poster art. And he has it on display permanently at his gallery, but he's got a little traveling adjunct to it. And he's bringing it to a place called the Narrows Art Center in Fall River. And as it happens, he engaged David Gans to be the entertainment at this opening. So I'm going to Fall River and we're going to do the radio show physically together for the first time in ages.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and then the next morning, the 6th, I go down to New York and prepare for the closing. So things are getting kind of exciting,
That's a big week. That's a big day.
Yeah. Well, so the whole house episode is drawing to a conclusion. I don't think there's anything standing in the way anymore. So,
and when you're in New York, where will you be staying?
Actually, for the first few days I'm there, I got myself a little Airbnb set up in Queens, in the home borough, so then I can start using that as a base to like look at apartments and stuff. This is getting real. This is finally getting real. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And then, well, we'll keep you posted.
And then I'll fast forward a little bit. Yeah. March 2nd and 3rd, I will be performing in Portland, Maine.
Right.
Fundraiser through Greg Martens, who really wants to talk to you, and Tom Constantin can be on with him if that
Oh,
works.
okay. We'll see what we can do.
And
So March 2nd. So that's more
March
than a month
2nd
away.
and
All right,
3rd.
cool. Yeah, we'll do that.
And then March 9th, I think
That's my birthday.
well, I'm going to be in New York.
On my birthday?
On your birthday, I will be in New York. I don't know where, how, how it's happening yet. Rolf is going to meet me in Boston
Mm-hmm.
on the 4th of March, and we're trying to find just somewhere to play in Boston, anywhere to play in
Right,
Boston. Bill, if you're
right,
playing somewhere, if we don't get a gig, I'll come see you perform in
right,
Boston.
right.
So then that week, I've been invited to a concert, a fundraiser at the Beacon Theater with
All
James
right.
Taylor.
Oh, is it the God Love We Deliver thing? That's an incredible lineup. Yeah.
So I'm going.
Oh, incredible.
I'm
Oh,
going.
how awesome.
And
Oh,
I
Jenna,
think
that's so wonderful.
Goose is that weekend, right?
I think I know the Goose shows are in early March. Yeah, my birthday is one of the dates that Goose is playing. So I think there's going to be kind of a party vibe.
Party
Per-
vibe, Jenna.
per-
Gary, 11:11. I think I just have to make it work. I just have to
let's
figure out.
say, let's say Gary,
Yeah.
Jenna, Red Farm, 11:11. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got
Yes.
to make that happen. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're things are moving along.
Because this is, March 23rd is going to be 3 years.
Right. That's right.
This will be the anniversary month, and it has to, part of it has to be with you, because
Yeah.
without you,
Yes.
what would our Saturday nights be?
The whole 11:11 fam. Yay.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, Gary.
Wow, Jenna.
So you might be in your apartment by your birthday.
It could be. It could be. I'm hoping for, a March 1st or thereabouts move in if I can swing that.
I hope that happens, because then we'll have a
Yeah.
party. Well, we'll have a
Yeah,
party
we
anyway.
will. Yeah, we'll have a wicked housewarming.
See? Cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
are you thinking Queens?
that's my primary goal. Open to other places in or around the city. It's I'm flexible. I mean, but Queens rocks so hard. Queens is just so incredibly right for me, not just because of my history there, but because of, affordability in terms of, insane rents in New York, definitely. Um, and just I just love the place culturally, the diversity of Queens, the food of Queens, everything about, and it's got a non-self consciousness that, it that'll probably go away at some point, just like it goes away in like all those neighborhoods in San Francisco and all that, as Brooklyn
Mm.
just puts up the no vacancy sign, it's seeping over into Queens already, but there are still really livable, really vibrant, really cool neighborhoods, and I would love to wind up there.
Well,
And if not, I'm looking into other parts of the city as well. But
and are
Queens
you
just seems.
thinking subletting at all, or are you looking for the place?
Oh, I'm looking. Well, that depends on the pace at which I find the place. If there's like a temporary sublet thing that's available to me, if I haven't found a great place right away, I might opt for that for a little while. I'm keeping all my options open.
How exciting.
It's wild. It's really wild.
So is he having an opening next Sunday? The Collector?
The yeah the art opening is next Sunday. Yeah, a week from tomorrow. And it's like it starts in the afternoon, and then the Ted Barr, the guy from the gallery, is going to do like a little talk and slide, presentation, and then David's going to play a set, an acoustic set, and we'll do the radio show before that. So it's pretty cool.
And when do you leave when do you leave Sandwich?
Tuesday. Yeah,
Sand-
Tuesday I drive up to Hopkinton, spend a few days at Lorelai's house, and then she'll come down to Fall River for the event with me. And it's
It's
this
happening.
is yeah, this is like a really sweet way to end my exile, my 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 weird period of nomadism.
Has it been a while for you? Nomadism? This
Oh yeah,
particular
I mean, I moved out of my house in August, I think it was. You
has
know,
it
my Connecticut it's gonna be going on 6 months.
really?
Without I'm not going to use the term homeless because that's obviously a ridiculous insensitive thing to say about real homeless, but I've been houseless, and sort of reliant on other people, which you know I don't like being particularly, although the people have been
It's
incredibly kind and generous.
really important to be a good house guest and to learn how to be a great house guest.
Yes, I feel as though I have been. I think I've been very conscious of not being too obtrusive and giving people their space. But I would get tired of me. You know, I face that every day.
Haven't up to this point, you haven't gotten tired of yourself yet, so that's good.
Yeah, I have. Sometimes my tolerance for myself is put to the test, but I managed to charm myself out of it.
What's so tomorrow? What's happening in Sandwich?
Uh, Tomorrow I'm kind of well, I've got the radio show tomorrow, and it'll be my last time in the Sandwich studio. But maybe I'll eat a sandwich during the radio show just in
Hey,
commemoration. Yeah. But yeah, so it'll most of my focus tomorrow will be on that, and then Monday I'm going to run around. I got some errands to do. I think I'm going to cook my
what
hosts a nice dinner on Monday night, my last night here.
do you think?
Thanks. Huh?
What are you thinking to cook?
Um, they really, really, really like this one scallop dish that I've made in the past. In fact, yeah,
Wait. We've not talked. Tell us about this scallop dish. What?
well, this was years ago, my friend Ruth, who's, one of my old, going back to high school friends, um, I was house sitting for my brother in Berkeley at the time, on Sutter in Berkeley, and near Henry Street, that place where things converge, where the Safeway is or was. And so she came when I was staying house sitting for my brother. She came by, and I found this recipe in Sunset Magazine. Remember Sunset Magazine? Does it still exist? I wonder. Sunset.
So I used to do their summer concerts. So I
Oh,
did.
okay.
I hung out with Sunset people quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Sunset sounds like a cool magazine, like a California centric magazine. Um, and they had really good recipes in it. And I found this recipe and I said, this looks really good. And what it consists of is, I may not be able to duplicate it exactly. I'm cooking up a variation in my head, but this was like a broiled thing where you put the scallops on skewers along with, like it's bell pepper or onions or whatever veggies you want. And then it's got like a soy, honey, and ginger glaze. And you broil it. And of course, scallops cook really, really quick. So you just broil it for a little while. And then you take out the skewers and you roll it in toasted sesame seeds.
Ooh.
And my friend Ruth declared it the best thing that anyone's ever eaten. So I've cooked it once subsequently. I mean, so and it's pretty amazing. So
It
I
sounds like
don't know,
a farm dish.
like what?
Sounds like a red farm dish.
It's very red, it's like proto red farm. Yeah. So I'm going to try to duplicate. I don't know if their oven broiler is like suitable to this task. They have kind of a temperamental oven, so I may like just like do a quick sear on the scallops and then like toss it in the glaze, and then still it'll be a little different, but I think
Sounds
I think I'll
beautiful.
I think I'll have satisfied customers. Yeah.
And what will you serve with it? Sides?
I'll pr- I'll probably stir fry some veggies, and just serve it on a bed of the veggies. That's my guess.
Sounds great.
I think it'll be a pretty special way to end this chapter.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. So, and then you're gonna stay. Oh gosh, so it's just so I'm so excited. I'm gonna see you like in weeks,
I know, it's incredible.
guys. Weeks.
Things are converging. Things are really converging all of a sudden, where they all seem so scattered. And now, I'm still thinking Jazz Fest. I'm still thinking, I mean, once I have the place,
Right.
once I have I'll say, okay, now I can take a little road trip. I won't worry about my place in the world. So it's going to free up a lot of things. I think I told you that I may be sharing an apartment with a friend who's moving out here.
No.
Um, oh yeah. My dear
Thank-
friend Elsa. My dear friend Elsa wants to move to New York from Denver. So we've talked about getting, like a share situation, a two, maybe even a 3 bedroom, so I can have like a little dedicated office, webcasting studio, all that. And there are, I see
You
three
work from
bedrooms.
home right there. That's your perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So it's that's the goal. I think the 3 bedroom is like, it would be just absolutely perfect. So
Such a great name. I love that name, Elsa. Hi, Dave.
yeah,
Such a great name.
Elsa's an amazing. Elsa's someone I met through Peter Applebaum. So it's like, it's all the family threads. Oh, I didn't tell you this. Joey and Kami, my friends on the Joey Spampanato and Kami, they know Carla Kilstead
Wow.
from the local musician community. So, like I mentioned, I said they asked me, oh, have you seen any other friends on the cave? I said, oh yeah, Carla Kilstead. They said, oh my God, they didn't know I knew Carla because that was from my California life. So that it's
I
these
love it.
kind of So I met Elsa when Peter was touring with Trey Anastasio's band, the first horn section lineup of Trey's band. Um, and she was like on a little mini Trey tour. And so we met in 2002. So we've now known each other 20 plus years, and just became instant kind of friends, soulmates. So we just I started talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to find a place in New York. And she said, I think my time in Denver is up. And we just sort of immediately said, we should be housemates. So I think that's going to happen.
How exciting, Gary.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's more than wild and really cool.
Yeah. So many changes happening. And you know, just consider myself very fortunate to have made it through these years of weirdness. And you know,
And here we are.
here we are.
Here we are.
Hmm.
Well, I'm excited for you for this week. It just sounds like it's so full and so giving and
Yeah. This is going to be a great week. I mean, I've had a great week, had a great day today, so I'm pretty up. I'm on a pretty positive kind of vibe right now. Oh, I have to recommend a TV show.
I was waiting.
Benjamin. I saw a rave for this like last week in the New York Times, and I said, "This looks like fun." It's a show called Extraordinary. It's on Hulu. Another just utterly clever and delightful and charming British series. But don't forget about the Detectorists. Everybody's got to watch the Detectorists. Oh, that was another great thing.
Detective, I forget. Was that on that? Is that on Hulu?
No, I forget which one that's on.
It might be on Netflix, actually.
Yeah, look it up. But it's
I had forgotten that one, but I knew there was one. It's on my pad.
yeah. So this is another the show, I'll just give the premise of the show without giving away too much, but it's it's a story of a world in which everybody at the age of 18 automatically acquires a superpower. Everybody's got their own superpower. And the main character in this show is a young woman who's like 25 and she hasn't gotten her superpower yet. So it's this show about, being like alienated and not part of the crowd and wanting to fit in, but she hasn't got her superpower. And so she's looking for one and she's trying to figure out a way to get one and she doesn't know what's wrong with her. And so it's like about being a misfit in this world full, like, and the superpowers are totally hilarious. A lot of them, I mean, like some of them are utterly ridiculous. They serve no real purpose, but they are superpowers. So I won't give away too much more, but it's really delightful. The first couple of episodes, it takes a while to say, well, where is this going? And then to just binge the first, it's like an 8-episode first season. It's already been picked up for a second, and it's just delightful and heartwarming and very funny and kind of twisted, and it's extraordinary.
What would your superpower be?
That's interesting. That's an interesting question. I've never given it that much thought. You know, they might involve finance because I've really always been bad at that. I'd like to be able to, like, print money with my mouth. So just
Well, that's
pull it. Yeah, just pull out dollar bills whenever I need them.
I might have to go with that one. I was thinking flying. I think I would
Flying
like
is
to
good.
fly.
Yeah, yeah. There are people on the show who fly, but some of them aren't very good at it. These people are like they're sort of the opposite of superheroes. They're just like super ordinaries. That's just like it's what they do. They're not always terribly happy with it. They're shapeshifters, and there's a woman who, for no particular reason, becomes magnetic, and all these like metal objects fly into her from across the room. So it's very, very sweet and very funny.
And it's on Hulu and it's called
Extraordinary.
Extra, just extraordinary.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just posting it on here.
yeah.
Cool.
Originally on the BBC, I think.
So smart.
Yeah.
Love the
Yeah.
BBC. Well, I am just so happy for you, and I am excited we'll talk next week from
I'll be in Hopkinton next week.
Hopkinton.
Hopkin, no G, Ton. Hopkinton.
Hopkinton.
Yes.
Hopkinton.
Yeah, one of those names that's probably of British derivation, like so much around here.
Hopkinton. Yeah. Thank
They
you
call
for
it new.
being here, man. You could be saying, you know what, Jenna, got too much going on right now, and I just need to. You've been here, and the sandwiches and sandwich and Hopkinton.
Yeah.
What is special about Hopkinton, food wise? Do you know?
I don't know. I have no familiarity. I know it's not that far from Worcester, and one of my favorite diners of all time is in Worcester, but I don't know if I'll get there. But yeah, I'll find out. It looks like it's quite pretty. My friends have a apparently very beautiful house, and I look forward to seeing it and checking it out.
Cool. Well, I look forward to maybe seeing you next Saturday night.
I don't see why not.
And okay, that's with Lorelai.
That's with Lorelai, yeah.
All right. Well, maybe Lorelai wants to jump on and hang. That's where the Boston Marathon starts.
That's right. That's the thing. So it's close enough to Boston. Obviously, it's within 26 miles of Boston. Clearly,
and Hopkinton is where the Boston Marathon starts.
That's right.
You just made me remember. I need to contact Catherine Bent. She reached out to me and told me about a couple of places in Boston that we could pay to play, but I don't
Uh-huh.
think we're going to do that because we don't really know that many people in Boston, um, but we're going to figure it out. We'll figure it
Okay.
out. We'll go
I
somewhere.
have fond recollections of Catherine Bent. Lovely person.
Yeah. She's still
Yeah.
in Boston, so hopefully I'll get to
Cool.
see her. And we'll see one of my friends from high school, Bruce Levin, and
Hmm.
yeah, and then cruise and then see you in New York.
What a concept.
All right. Big hug.
Big hug. Love you.
Well, Gary Lambert, everybody. One more Saturday night.
Love hard. Really hard.